Hey Pens fans, welcome to Pens Den, home of your 5-time Stanley Cup champion Pittsburgh Penguins. October's a wrap for the Penguins. Let's see how that last week of the season went, coming right up. Okay, October's a wrap for the Pens. Let's see how things went for them. The big showdown last week was Crosby versus Connor McDavid, and everybody was expecting a high-scoring affair. Wasn't a high-scoring affair at all. It was more like a goaltender's duel. Murray had a fantastic game. It ended up, needed to go to overtime, and Stanley Cup champion Phil Kessel scored in overtime to win the game for the Pens 2-1. Their next game ended up being against the Winnipeg Jets. Now, there have always been a lot of track meets with them, and there's always been a lot of high-scoring affairs. Again, we ended up having another tight contest here. It ended up being another goaltender's duel, and you'll never guess what. Number 81, Stanley Cup champion Phil Kessel won that game in overtime, 2-1. So they got two exciting games in the books. Then they traveled they're on the road for one of their longer road trips of the season, and they went and they played Minnesota. And it ended up, it was a tight contest, but Dubnyk played a great game on 2-1. And the Pens looked a little flat, to be honest with you. There wasn't a lot of emotion. There wasn't a lot of things stirred up. Of course, our old fan favorite, Matt Cullen, assisted on one of their goals. So, yeah, that was just, you know, they were not there. They weren't in the game. Then it was on a back-to-back night. They went to Winnipeg. And they lost 7-1. There isn't much to say about that. It was just atrocious. Just not there. Murray gave up 4 goals. Casey DeSmith was put in. He gave up 3 goals. It wouldn't have mattered who was in net that night. Could have had a brick wall, and Winnipeg still would have won that game. And just as far as some comments are concerned here, the Penguins brought up Casey DeSmith from Wilkes-Barre Scranton. They just sent him back this week, and they called up Tristan Jarry. And my opinion on that is Penguins need to look for a solid backup goaltender. Of course, we all know Antti Niemi was released, put on waivers, and the Florida Panthers picked him up. So Penguins need to do some homework as far as getting a good, solid backup goaltender is concerned. Jerry's not the answer. Casey DeSmith is not the answer. Jim Rutherford needs to work his magic as far as that's concerned. And then I saw DK Sports, when they interviewed Coach Mike Sullivan, asked him what's wrong with the team, and he said, I don't know. And there was an article put out the other day, yesterday, I believe, by Mark Madden, radio talk show host over in Pittsburgh, said the Penguins have a Stanley Cup hangover. Folks, this is not a physical thing. It's a mental thing. There's just the drive, the desire, the passion. It's not there. And I also think, personally, one of the things that's really hurting them is the loss of Rick Tocchet. I think he provided a lot of fire behind the bench for the Penguins. I love Mark Recchi. He's done unbelievable things for the Penguins and for the organization. I've seen a couple of behind-the-bench interviews, haven't really seen him get fired up. So this isn't rocket science. This isn't complicated here. I think the Pens just need to, you know, as Mike Sullivan says in a PC way, our compete level isn't there. And he's right. They need to light a fire under them to get that compete level back. And I know it's hard. They've won 2 cups. They want to try to go for a third. You know, it's like, what do you do? Most of them have won 2 cups in a row. So, you know, you need get some motivation, provide some spark. They'll get it done. Mike Sullivan is one of the best at motivating his team. That's it. If you like the content from today's video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and tell others about our channel. Also, please be sure to check out my blog where I post some updates on the Penguins as well. Thanks for watching, and let's go Pens!